Hello, everybody. It's Mr. West again with our weekly student assembly. This has become a bit of a student assembly and also a parent assembly. I don't want to sound patronising, more of a parental kind of engagement process. So hopefully parents will get something out of this as well. It's been an extremely busy week for myself and my team here. And you'll be well aware, all of you, of all the changes and the comings and goings of government and government advice and government guidance about what's happening with schools over this week. Some of that I'll be able to address in our presentation here today, and some of it I won't, because it's changing so rapidly and so quickly that I can't keep up with it. What do I mean by that? I mean that on Sunday, obviously, Boris Johnson presented his view about how lockdown will be eased, although we're still under lockdown, and how that would affect schools reopening. And since then, there's been a raft of guidance and advice come out from the Department of Education, and that advice and guidance has changed daily. So if I'd have given you this presentation on Tuesday or Wednesday, I would have been saying one thing. If I'd have been speaking to you yesterday on Thursday, I'd have been saying another. And if I spoke to you this morning, it would have been different again. As it stands, as you'll notice, I'm in my own office at Temple Moor. We'll come on to that in a minute. It's 2:20 currently, and I'm still waiting for some further guidance this afternoon. So I'm going to tell you what I know at the minute. I apologise that it might be a little bit vague, but it's vague because I can only tell you what I know. And by the time this goes out, which usually goes out at 4 o'clock, it will have changed again. So I apologise. But what I'll try and do is try and get out any concrete information about the school next week via email, or via the app, should I say, and on the website. So you'll get that information currently, and then if anything comes out that's more substantial, I'll obviously address it next Friday. Right, before we get into the meat and bones of this assembly, I just want to talk to you about something. Well, let's start with this. Let's start with a big thank you really to parents and students for that matter. We've continued to get amazing feedback and comments about the things that we're doing for you at home, the support that we're giving you, and the phone calls that we're trying to get to every child and every family. So thank you for those messages of support. They genuinely mean a lot to us. And I think I said to you last week that I'm now put them in a bulletin and now been shared with all staff. So he's certainly giving them a boost. So please keep them coming in. I really appreciate it. And I think that's important to kind of start with that message, because as you'll be aware, the media is beginning to drive a wedge between parents and school. And what I've tried to do is, in these video messages each week, is not necessarily give you the most up-to-date information, because, as I said before, you are getting it at the same time as me. It's a form of trying to stay in touch with you and try to be open and transparent with you and try to be on your side. What I don't find helpful is the media trying to drive a wedge between us. We've had fantastic feedback from yourselves, and I can't thank you enough for all the things you're trying to do to try and keep your child engaged with their learning. It must be incredibly difficult, and I particularly think about some of the stories that have come back this week from yourselves around, you're doing your best for your child, you're trying your best to work from home, and you've got a situation where there might be two siblings in the household. There's one online device to use. You're trying to do your work, you've got an older sibling, the older child is trying to do their work as well, and the youngest isn't getting access to it. So we're really mindful of that, so we're trying to put things in place. So please bear with us. And, as I say, I do not shy away from the fact that, you were doing an amazing job. So thank you to all the parents out there. Thank you for that. And I don't want the media to kind of drive a wedge between us locally, because they don't necessarily understand the relationship that we've got and we've tried to build up over these few weeks, and that I'm trying to focus on children's well-being and parents' well-being to try not overload them. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to listen to each other. I can assure you that my staff, as much as certain individual newspapers are claiming, my staff are not sitting at home doing nothing. They are working hard in the background, trying their best, whilst balancing their own childcare needs and other responsibilities. So we're all trying to do our best, I can assure you. My staff are not sitting around at home doing nothing. And that includes me, because as I said before, I've never been busier, particularly this week. Anyway, next thing. Let's just talk about June the 1st. Now, what I've learned this week is that you cannot please all the people all the time. I think, the adage goes, you can please some of the people some of the time. Now, I sent out a message via the app earlier in the week just to alert you to this video message to kind of give you some details. And I think some of the feedback from parents were, well, why are you talking to us about June the 1st? It's just for primary schools. Well, it isn't. If you read the guidance again, what it talks about is the opportunity for year 10s and 12s to come back into school to do some form of contact, or involving some kind of contact time with their teachers to try and look at learning. These are not lessons, so we are planning on that taking place. So let me just be very clear. On the June the 1st, year 10s and 12s will not be back in school. Okay, what will happen is likely to be this, and take this with a pinch of salt because things are moving so quickly, I may have to change it. Now, the rough plan would be that in that first week of June, we will invite in a number of year 12s, a small group of year 12s to come in, and we'll do some one-to-one tuition with you, very small group work, socially distanced, to kind of look at your levels of engagement with the work that we've provided so far, try and remove some barriers to those to accessing that learning, and try to help you in terms of I think the phrase is re-socialise yourself with school and getting yourself into the kind of structure of a school day. The second week, so that'll be June the 8th, or towards the end of the first week, we may invite in some year 10s. So this isn't, as I say, not a free-for-all. The school will not open the 1st of June and 10s and 12s come back. That will not happen, okay? You will be contacted, all right, with specific guidance about how this will work, okay? And as I say, these are only ideas at the minute. What has to happen between now and then is that the 5 key measures that the government have set out, the 5 tests, should I say, that the government have set out have to be passed. Okay, that's the first thing. And the second thing is that the SAGE committee, as we've become more aware of, provide their scientific advice to the government on the 28th of May. Now, if that's satisfactory and the 5 tests have been met, then we can start to reopen. But as I say, it's from the 1st of June, not on the 1st of June. Now, there will be an offer made to 10s and 12s, but it is not a demand from me, and it is not an expectation that you're here. If you feel that you don't want to be here, you feel better suited at home, you feel that it's not safe, you feel anxious about anything, you must stay at home, because the advice is to stay at home because that's the safest place for you. But I will present some form of offer to your 10s and 12s by invitation only to come in and work with colleagues, my colleagues in school, to try and help you with your learning, okay? Much more detail about that will come out in due course, so please look out for that. Right, let's talk about other year groups, shall we? Years 11 and 13, all right, as I've spoke to you before, you will not be coming back to school, okay? I'm really sorry about that. I'm sorry that you won't be able to have the kind of send-off that you deserve after all your hard work. And I'm bitterly disappointed that you haven't been sitting your GCSEs and your A-levels this last week. I know some of you will be rubbing your hands thinking, oh, that's great, I want to do my exams. But others of you, like my nephew actually, who's just done his GCSE, or meant to do his GCSEs in year 11, are bitterly upset the fact that they haven't been able to prove themselves and showcase all the work that they've done in the previous 5 years, or 7 years, in the case of A-level students. So I'm really sorry about that. Year 10s and 12s, you know that we'll be in touch with you in due course. And year 7 to 9, unfortunately, I will not be able to see you until September. And that's just how it's going to be for the time being. But I'll talk about how we can actually provide you a little bit of a better experience with your remote learning. So we'll talk about that in a second. So that's where we're going to be. Now, the next bit is about this kind of reopening or potential reopening from the 1st of June. I can assure you that I will not reopen the school in any shape or form for small groups, for year 10s and 12s, or anything else that might come in future weeks. It will not be open if the school is not safe. So the next couple of weeks, we are completing a number of risk assessments that I will sign off that have to be then quality assured by the trust safety team, and then we can see that the school is safe and we can allow children and staff, for that matter, to come back into school. The school has been deep cleaned this week, I can assure you, because I've been in and it's got an incredible smell, I have to say. So it's all ready to go. It will be cleaned every day at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, to make sure that it's clean for all children. So that's that for now. Okay, I'm going to move on to something slightly different now. I'm just going to talk about next week. So next week, Monday the 18th of May, this only applies to those children and those students who are attending Whitkirk Primary. Right. If you're a Temple Moor student that is currently attending Whitkirk Primary because your parents or parent are critical workers and you've been sent in, so currently I think we've got 3 or 4 there today, and we've got about 3 or 4 all week, no more than 5 a day, you will attend Temple Moor next Monday. So if you recall, straight after lockdown, when the school closed, that first week we were all in school. So we had a roster of staff in school. You came to this school at Temple Moor. Only at the end of that week did you go to Whitkirk, because we went to a hub model. That hub will now close for Temple Moor students. Okay, so next week, if you are a parent, if you're a parent who's a critical worker and you've been sending your child to Whitkirk, please come to Temple Moor, same time with the same teachers in your own school. Okay. Something else about the next couple of weeks then. So we've got next week we'll be back in school, and that would take us to half term. So at half term, so everyone's clear, including parents of critical worker parents who are sending their children to school, at half term the school will be closed to all students, okay? And the reason I'm doing that is because we all need a break. We need a break to have some respite, we need some holiday time, and that is inclusive of those students who have been coming over Easter and over bank holidays. They need a break too. So I'm sorry about to those parents that be sending their children in. The school will be closed at half term, and that gives everybody a break, and it also allows me and my site team and other staff to make sure the site is secure for the 1st or from the 1st of June. Okay, so I hope there's some clarity on that one. Next one then is that we're just going to talk to you about remote learning. So a number of staff have been working in the background and piloting the use of Microsoft Teams, and I know parents have been quite keen for us to use this. So we're very close to rolling that out to all children, and we've got some demonstration videos of how to use it, and we've got some instructions for parents, because I said before that I'd make a commitment to try and support you with the learning of your child. So that will be released after half term. So some information will be coming out in the coming couple of weeks to help you with that, and then we can use that facility on Microsoft to make sure we get some more meaningful work, in particular to help you with getting some feedback from your teachers, which I know that has been something that's been missing up to now. So we're going to work on that, and I thank you for all your patience from parents and students to help us to get that to a point where our staff are well trained and we can actually deliver that, and it'd be done pretty well. So let's look forward to that. Right, next one then. I just want you to kind of reassure you about when we actually get back in September and what things are going to look like then. My staff are working tirelessly in the background to try and redevelop the curriculum. I think I've said this to you before, but genuinely it's looking pretty good. What we're trying to do is we're not just trying to work on a deficit where we're just trying to get you to recover and close gaps from where you were to where you should be. We want to be much more progressive in terms of the experiences and the learning you're going to have going forwards that helps you to kind of, as I say, not only be strong in your learning, but be strong in yourself, which is the point I keep making about well-being, so that work continues, and hopefully you'll have a more meaningful experience when you come back to school in September. Okay, please keep the feedback coming through to us at the school, and we'll try and respond as best we can. I've had a lot of emails from parents this week, and I can only apologise. Normally, in normal settings, I reply to every single parent. I'm not able to do it at the minute because I'm probably getting about 250 emails a day, and I just haven't physically got enough time in the day. And it's Friday today, and I'm still answering emails from Monday. So please forgive me for that, and I'll do my best to get to it as many as I possibly can. Okay, so that's it for now. Apologies, it's a little bit vague, but things are moving so quickly, and we will try and get you some more up-to-date information out in the coming days. So in the meantime, I wish you all well, and I'll speak to you again next week. Best wishes to you all.